Peace. Welcome back to Galactic Downloads. It has been quite some time since we've connected in this space. And I want to thank you and send my love. Thank you for holding this space for me, for allowing me to return, for rejoining me here so that we can continue to exchange information and decode these messages and bring enlightenment to the world. So let's go ahead and get right into the message. This download came to me earlier today, and I took my time to determine how to express it. And what I ended up deciding on was that I want to express it authentically, exactly the way that it was given to me. No fluff, no glitter, and I feel like we learn best when we are exposed to raw information. So the message that I received pertains strictly to mental health and spiritual health, and how they are one thing and the same, how that needs to be nurtured, how we need to navigate in those spaces. So let's start all the way from the top. We are living in a very, very unique world. Times have changed. Times will continue to change. The world that we once knew has evolved into something different. And so that means that our minds are continually adjusting with this new world and in this new world. And with those adjustments comes great challenges for some who aren't really adaptable. But you can be. You can be adaptable. The mental health crisis has increased. It has expanded, and in my opinion, it will continue to expand indefinitely as our world continues to grow in this direction. Technology is the new world. Technology is the new way. And so as technology is continuing to develop at lightning speed, our roots are totally disconnecting. We are totally disconnecting from our roots as the new technical world is growing. As technology is developing, we are being drawn more into this virtual space. We are becoming less active, and we are relinquishing control in our own lives. To relinquish control means literally to give up the power that you have over your own mind, which leads to mental health crisis. The power of the imagination is so profound. The imagination creates religions. It creates systems. It creates physical health. It can create wealth. The mind, the imagination can manifest so many different things. Like we literally manifest our own reality, our own perceptions. We place ourselves in our own worlds where we believe that we are in our minds. And so the mental health crisis has expanded and will continue to expand indefinitely as our world moves further in a virtual way. Why? We are being drawn away from our roots, away from the soil. We are being drawn away from the natural elements, the natural compounds that make us who we are. Our trees are being removed at a rapid rate. I don't know if any of you have noticed, but our newer vehicles are being manufactured differently. Like the architecture of the vehicles are slimmer. And so what does that mean? With when the vehicles are made slimmer, it's so that more of them can fit into a space, so that more of them can fit into these geographical locations on the map. Our neighborhoods are going to become more crowded. Our resources are going to become more manufactured. So, and all of this is because of the way that our world is moving into a virtual space. Will outside even be a thing anymore once we reach that future position? Will the outside even be a thing anymore? Like, we are literally living day to day in our worlds through phones and laptops, through televisions. And while technology is a beast in a good way, technology catapults us and technology elevates us in a way that we could have never imagined back before all of this even came about so quickly. But get this, technology isn't like a new thing. It isn't something that was newly discovered or newly found. Technology has always been a way. It has always been present. It just it determines where you are geographically, how quickly that development happens, and the resources that you have that allow you to be exposed to it. Now, there are many of us who are fortunate to have access to technology in this new world. There are many of us who are fortunate to have access to it. However, we are subconsciously and unconsciously relinquishing our rights to freedom, to our own imaginations. Every time we turn on these technical devices, we are literally spawning ourselves into someone else's reality. And so it will continue to have a greater impact on our mental health because we will continue to use this virtual world as a standard. The virtual world is so unreal, it's not even real. And but I believe that it's, in a way, it is healthy that we are all being exposed to reality in different parts of the world, because it helps us to come to terms with the fact that a lot of what is and should have already been known has been covered. It's been placed behind a veil to sustain an amount of control. But here's the thing: although the veil is being lifted at this time, it is still a form of control. But now the control is much more amplified. The hold that this world has over your mind is much greater than it was before technology even came about. Getting back on subject, our trees are being removed, which means our oxygen supply is being depleted. This has been a thing. This is nothing new. We've always had humanitarians on the scene doing their due diligence to fight for our tree rights. Not only that, our neighborhoods will become more crowded. Money is the goal. It has always been the goal. It is always going to be the driving factor. But our virtual world is going to take us so far away from the soil that we're going to forget how to sustain. I'm not speaking this into existence. It is merely a prediction. And I trust that by the time my lifetime comes to an end, that I won't be able to see the result. We are in a time where we are doing a full circle. We are completing a full circle. I was going to say a cycle. History repeats itself. You've heard that before. I've heard it before. That's why I'm repeating it. History does indeed repeat itself. How? How? Okay. Because technology is revolving, is evolving at such a rapid pace. The nomenclature of our world is revolving. So get this, the more we engage and the more we indulge into the virtual world, the further away from our true selves we will become. And then our educational value will be so slim, we're going to return eventually to Neanderthal energy, caveman energy. The virtual world is going to dumb down society in a major way, and we will eventually return to caveman Neanderthal energy. It's already happening. We're already being led by a group of young people. Our children are running the show right now. Our children are conducting this. They are leading this. I think in one perspective, my higher self loves that, loves the idea that children are continuing to entertain the world while all of the other distractions of chaos are happening. However, the children of today are creating alike distractions in a different way. Now, our children, being leaders of today's world, have such a great capacity for imagination. It is the way of a child to have a healthy imagination. It's great. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. We all should have an imagination. We all should know how to tap into that inner space and that cerebral space and create, right? We should all be able to tap into that space, especially when what we see on the external is uncomfortable, or what we are perceiving to be uncomfortable in the external is a true thing to us. It is a great ability to be able to use the imagination to create a more pleasant perspective. And in my opinion, that's what children do. However, our children today are being pulled away from morals and values and structure and discipline, literally being pulled away from that, and are being hyped up, are being encouraged to represent themselves the way that they represent themselves. And it's okay. Everything is okay. The world deems it as okay because the audience, the subscribers, the viewers, the largest pool of supporters are children themselves, or individuals who are underdeveloped and still developing. And that's not a negative connotation against anyone. It just is what it is. It is what it is, and it is the truth. The majority of the world is asleep and is still asleep. And in my opinion, more people will continue to fall asleep and stay in the slumber. Like the fake woke narrative that is occurring in the world is not even real. People of today's world believe that to be woke means to understand what it means to be health conscious, and to implement self-care, and how to apply all of these tangible methods in their world to, I guess, sustain a better quality of life. And then knowing what's going on in the world, what's happening and occurring in the world, means to be woke. So this new fake woke culture thing is happening. And so we are under the illusion that people are actually waking up, when indeed people are actually falling further asleep. there's too much information. There's too much access to information. There are too many different narratives. There's too much to tap into. And unfortunately, the majority of people aren't able to decipher between what's real, what's not, what should be ingested and stored in our own, repositories, and what we should bypass. So, as we are headed on our way to this full circle moment where we will return to our caveman era, where we're already showing signs of Neanderthalism. It's already evident. Like, people aren't becoming more bright. People aren't becoming more educated. Technology is taking people's natural ability to problem solve and use their critical thinking skills away. Like AI, I believe, in my opinion, AI is a beast. It is bomb. However, I believe that this new virtual world will actually be the demise of society. Eventually, we will all be named under one identity. We will all be considered a society a society under one umbrella, in like a zombie state, like, literally. So as we're being pulled further away from our roots, and our trees are being removed, and our communities are being more crowded because we have more financial opportunity, more opportunity for financial gain, as all of these things are revealing themselves in the world today. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Why? Because people have been presented with this illusion of an option to make all of this money. Oh, if the money is there, it's so accessible. If I create a channel, or I create something in the virtual world, I can become rich, and that's all that matters. When indeed, that's part of the plot. That is part of the plot. For everyone to join this community of virtual living. Virtual living. I mean, all day long, people live in this virtual world and have become less involved and have less control over their own lives, whether they are physically and tangibly relinquishing that power to sitting in one position all day, staring at a phone or staring at a laptop, or whether they are relinquishing that power mentally by living in these realms, in these virtual realms where all of this different information exists. But either way, it is drawing us further away from our roots. It is drawing us further away from the truth. While I am not against change, I believe that a unique personality like mine really enjoys change. I think change itself is actual development. Change itself is actual growth. Absolutely. I don't dispute it. What I do dispute is the lack of intelligence that we all are displaying, like, in general, by not understanding the lack of control that we have over our own lives right now, and how that this will be a continual development. While people are under the illusion that technology is going to increase our knowledge, I believe that technology will increase our ability to access information. Absolutely. but technology will not increase our intelligence. It is going to expose us to more resources, but it will not increase our intelligence. It will not increase our critical thinking and problem solving skills. It is actually deterring us from all of it. Like, we rely on a GPS to lead us geographically through our neighborhoods that we should know offhand. Now let's just say, forbid a natural disaster happens and it tears, a town up. And so now the appearance of this town looks totally different. Looks like a totally new town. How will you know how to navigate through this town that has been destroyed by this natural disaster? You will not intuitively have that internal GPS system to know how to use your sense of direction to get where you need to go, because technology is doing it for you. It's actually deprogramming all of your common sense. It's deprogramming all of your survival skills. It is deprogramming all of your natural instincts. This is what technology is doing. Technology is also encouraging mental health issues, as society put it. Mental health issues. Whereas though in the world that I come from, in the world that I live in, I believe that technology is indeed helping to cultivate unhealthy imaginations. The unhealthy imaginations are what leads us into these mental health crises. It is just an unhealthy mind is an unhealthy imagination that spirals so far out of control that now your mind has become separate from you. It's like living in two totally different realms, of which you don't know which is actually true. And I say that with a whole heart. I don't say that lightheartedly, and I definitely do not say it with a heavy heart, because there is nothing to worry about. I am just speaking a truth. It is one truth. So it's important for us to learn how to take our power back, to regain control over our minds, to break the stigma of mental health issues, and to recoup our spiritual energy, to recoup our spiritual power, so that new categories of mental health, mental health conditions aren't continuing to evolve. It's like there's always a new study. There's always a new virus. There's always a new experiment. And that it occurs in the mind as well. It occurs with the mind as well. There are so many different categories of mental health conditions that currently exist. They all kind of, to a certain point on the spectrum, they all kind of run together and appear to be the same in one sense or another. It's just that this one may differentiate from that one and that one. Now, while I do believe that these categories are not necessarily unhealthy to have, I don't believe that the categories are not real or are not true. But what I do believe is that we have the power to eliminate ourselves from being categorized. It is okay to be different. It is okay to be weird. Weird, different, odd, unique. It's all the same. If people are presenting themselves in a way that they are going to harm other people or harm themselves, I feel like those people, yes, need a little bit of help. They need assistance. They need it. They can't help themselves. They need it. Ye harm none, do what ye will. It is one of the spiritual laws, period. So whatever, as human beings, whatever we need to do, whether that means to create different categories to help people, to give them assistance, that's what we will do. However, every single person who is different does not need to be put in a category. Remove the labels from yourself. Remove those labels from yourself. As a matter of fact, I challenge all of you. Get a journal, get a book, use a page to write down all of the ways that you feel that you are different from everyone else, from people in the world. How are you different? And after you finish that list, read through that list and ask yourself, does this warrant a condition? Does this mean that I necessarily need to be put in a category and deemed a patient who needs assistance? Sometimes, and most times, it is literally just about you knowing yourself rather than seeking help from a professional to tell you who you are. You know who you are already. You don't need anyone to tell you that. Now, you may need help working through past trauma, or, in my language, deprogramming and reprogramming your mind. You may need help with assistance with that, but it doesn't necessarily deem you as a categorical candidate. You don't need to be put in a category. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be unique. It's okay to have a wild imagination. I mean, really, if you ask me, delusion is okay to a certain extent. Delusion is what helps us to manifest. Think about it. That's really all it is. It's delusional to think that I am a wealthy, powerful, successful person in my own right who loves people, who wants to help people, who's going to have a great impact on the world and have all of this materialism and touch all of these lives. And when we are delusional, we put ourselves in these spaces as if it is already true. And guess what? It is. You are. You are powerful. You are majestic. You are magnetic. You are royal. You are of the highest honor. You are that person who is going to help heal the world. You will. And you know what's going to help you do it? Your delusional state of mind, your ability to manifest, your ability to see the beauty in all things when everyone else around you thinks that you're crazy. Because how are you in this space of peace, of love, of light and truth? How are you right there? How are you able to walk through the darkness and not be afraid? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Oh, you know what? We need to go ahead and prescribe you something to get rid of that delusion of yours, to get rid of that imagination of yours. I challenge you to continue to be your unique self. Continue in your world of delusions as long as you're not bothering anybody. Who cares? We don't care what people think of us anymore. We don't care. Actually, this new virtual world has presented an opportunity of expansion for us on so many different levels. We are able to be who we want to be. We the ability to create right now is so profound. I mean, they're basically giving you the tools to do so. You can go into this virtual space and create something that looks more genuine and realistic than your own life, than what's in your own reality. You can actually do that right now in 2025. We can do that. Kings and queens, this year is year 9. It is the year of completion. That means that all of these old cycles are being wrapped up and coming to a close. And it's important for you to decide which cycles you want to continue to grow, to cultivate, which you want to sustain, which ones do you want to keep alive, right? And it is very important to me. I hope that it is equally important to you that we keep our baseline of natural resources, our baseline of ancient knowledge alive, that we stay true to ourselves, that we keep our imaginations alive. Don't let the new world and the changes that are occurring in it and around it to change you so much that it leads you down a path of deficit. Don't get caught up in the caveman era. You don't have to be a part of that. You can actually decide to continue to sustain the knowledge that you know to be true, the truth that you know is real, by taking your power back mentally. Taking your power back mentally. And it all starts with cultivating and nurturing the relationship that you have with your inner God frequency. You understand? In order for you to sustain a healthy mind, you must sustain a healthy relationship with that inner God frequency. They are one and the same. If you are not on that God frequency, your mental health will be evident of that. And just because you speak words out of your mouth, like the prayers, the affirmations, the acknowledgments that you give to whatever figure you praise, whatever figure you acknowledge. Just because you speak words out of your mouth does not mean that you are nurturing that relationship. To nurture that relationship means that you must first what? Know that it is real. And if you know that that God frequency truly, really exists, that higher power truly, really exists, that your God is real, if you know that, then you know that whatever unhealthy external ailments that seek to infiltrate your cerebral space are not real, then you know that your relationship with the God frequency is real. And it is just that simple. You cannot trust and worry in tandem. Those are two totally different frequencies, and they will cancel one another out indefinitely. And it cannot be disputed. That is indisputable. You cannot trust and worry at the same time. They will cancel each other out. What frequency are you going to decide to be on? What is your truth? Who are you? And what is your relationship with that inner God frequency? Because you do know that we all acknowledge different gods. None of us, none of our understandings, none of our truths about these higher power figures and our own realities are the same, because we are all different beings. You do not have to follow someone else's narrative of what they believe a God to be, or what they believe a higher power to be, or how they represent, or how they gain enlightenment, or how they stay enlightened. You don't have to follow those different paths, but I do encourage you to choose a culture, even if you create your own. Catch a wave somewhere. Connect with something. I trust that you'll make a power move and connect with a God frequency that brings you love, light, and truth. I trust that you will. I know that you will. That's why you're here watching this video, because that's who we are. That's what we do. We know what time it is. It's the year 9, 2025. Our world is different. Our world is changing. Stay true to something. First, yourself. You have to stay true to you first, and then second, that God frequency in you. Acknowledge that God frequency first, and then yourself. But know them interchangeably. Know them. Know the difference between the two. Understand that the energy you pour out into the universe is exactly what you get back. If you allow yourself to slip onto these onto these different frequencies and tap in to these vibrations of confusion, chaos, it will indeed separate you from who you truly are, and it will create a mental health crisis for you. You have to know who you are. You have to know who you are so well that when your mind, if your mind reaches a perceived state of separation, you'll know how to go and gather yourself, gather the pieces of yourself from these different realms and these different dimensions, and bring it back home to rebuild yourself, to regain your power. I, for one, will not join the caveman era. Neanderthalism is a thing of the past for me, and it will remain in the past. And I trust that you will make the same decision for your life. Open your eyes, your third one, which is truly the first one to be exact. Use that to discern right now. You're going to need it. Technology is real. The virtual world is here. It's here. And it is happening, whether you like it or not, whether you want it to or not. But that is my message for you today. To protect your mental health through your spiritual health. And in order to protect your spiritual health, you must have a healthy relationship with yourself and that God frequency in you. I love you. I am Queen Mother, and this is Galactic Downloads. I will see you next time.